Hi, good morning, and welcome again to another showing of AJAElite. Today, we're going to Daang Reyna. So I think every weekend naman we have a client talaga na nagbo-viewing sa mga listing natin sa Daang Reyna. So right now, this one is a special property kasi this is a under market value property. No? This listing is direct to the owner, so sobrang ganda ng deal na to. And we have a lot of prospect na dito. Ang dami nag-i-inquire and ang dami rin gusto mag-viewing. So this one is our first viewing with a doctor and a banker. So let's meet them kasi they really need to have their own house again. Kasi actually, ang history ng client na to is nag-rent na ngayon sila ng houses and medyo ang laki nung renta nila. I think 120 to 150,000 for a house na nasa Alabang area din. So right now, nasa pag-isip-isip nila na nasasayang yung kanilang renta. Kaya they decided to see yung ganitong property na ready na. Tapos they can just like decide kung ipo-finance nila yon, or actually kasi the owner also have in-house financing. So mag-uusap sila kung paano yung terms of payment. Pero they're really into getting a property kasi sayang talaga yung rent. Imagine kung 120,000 yung renta nila in 1 year, magkano yun? Diba? So they need to have it their own na lang. Sana yung binabayad nila sa renta, at least napupunta na sa kanila. Let's go and see the property. This is really a good deal. Below market value in Daang Reyna. That's in Amore, Portofino. Let's go. My husband Peter. Hi. This is Doc Grace and Sir Son. Alright, so I'll show you inside. So dito tayo dumaan sa secondary door kasi yung pinaka main door is already locked. As we enter, nasa kitchen area tayo, pero maybe we can go inside dun sa main entrance para you can feel kung paano yung pag-enter. This is the main door. So I think you need to repaint lang this, pero okay siya, solid pa yung wood, no? So, and also you just need to replace this one. As you enter the main door, you will see this one, the space. Sobrang spacious nito and kasama na rin yung 2 aircons. So this gonna be your living and pwede rin dito magkaroon ka ng dining. Pero we have private kitchen after this. So this aircon, we have split type and another aircon na stand here. This is completely kasama na sa deal na 28 million. So let's go with the kitchen. This one is sliding door, no, para pagka nagluluto and anything, you can close it. This one is the kitchen. So, eto yung medyo kailangan talagang i-renovate. Kasi medyo matagal na. Yung first owner kasi nito, hindi na masyadong na-maintain. Pero actually, again, this is a originally model unit before. So, konting renovation lang ang kailangan dito. And this one, yung plumbing din, yun yung kailangan ayusin. So, we're really open to that na honest kami in terms of renovation kung ano yung kailangan i-repair. Pero again, we have contractor na may quote na kung paano aayusin to and all. Kung how much is it, sobrang affordable lang nung package, like within 3.5 million. Everything is bago na, like the cabinet, the kitchen countertop, and also the retiling. We can also connect with you on that. So this is gonna be the kitchen area. So ang ganda niya kasi marami siyang mga cabinets and yung ventilation ng air sobrang open and yung lighting, ang dami niyang open window sliding. So in terms of ventilation, sobrang okay yung kitchen area natin. So as we go up, ito pa rin yung original stairs kasi. Ayan. So, stairs. Konting repaint na lang din dito. Kung gusto nyo ibahin yung color, you can do that too. This one kasi, ang ganda ng layout niya. And you can renovate kung ano yung gusto mong gawin. Ayan. So, this one, this is a wood flooring. Ito na yung mga kailangan na talagang ayusin. Expire na kasi yung flooring na wood, so you can replace it in a new tiling. Tapos we have a big window here. So this view, sa forestra na siya, commercial area. So this one, it's up to you if you can, you know, you can turn it, pwede nyo siyang alisin, or pwede nyo rin siyang gamitin, i-upgrade. Actually, this area, a flex area, pwede siyang gawing room. So you can just close this, another room pa siya. Okay, so next, let's go to the secondary room. So we have 2 secondary room here. So we have in left and right. So, dito na tayo sa right. Nagana pa lahat ng AC. So, kasama na yan. Originally kasama. Then, this one is also included, the closet. Pero, if you want also to replace this, you can do that. Naka-carpeted siya. Pero, I think you can replace it to another tiles pa. So, napaka-spacious ng area. Tsaka yung, again, the ventilation of air and the window are sobrang mahangin. So, this one is the shared toilet and bath for the 2 rooms. Tapos, kung gagawin yung family room yung isa, pwede rin. So, this is gonna be your toilet and bath. You can enter here. Yan. So, we have shower area here. Tapos, yung sink natin, then the bowl. In the left side, we have another room. So, yun. Same lang din ng area nung kabila. We have 3 windows here na sliding. Sobrang ganda ng magiging view ninyo. More on greeneries and all. So, naka-carpeted siya. You can replace it to another. Tapos, may kasama na rin siyang closet. And this is the most important part is the primary room. So, this one is our master's bedroom. Malaki. Ayan. Then, the master's bedroom, we have here the balcony, the big balcony. No? So, ang ganda ng view nito kasi hindi siya mabablock. Talagang makita nyo yung area ng distance outside per houses, sobrang layo. Kaya, talagang feel mo yung breeze ng air and ang ganda. Wala pa masyadong bahay eh. Konti pa lang. Ayan. So, we have big windows here. Tapos, may kasama na ring AC. We have here the walk-in closet. And then, this is our own toilet and bath for the primary room. So, we have here the sink. Tapos, this is gonna be your shower area. Then, the toilet and bath. There. So, that's the whole property. Nakita ko na lahat ng listing eh. Here in this property area, like even sa outside, sa Daang Reyna, yung price niya talaga is kapresyo lang siya ng lote. So, the whole 28 million, if you see the other listings, lote pa lang yun. So, parang free na yung structure. So, that's the biggest deal that you can get on this kind of property. Let's go here, going to the carport. Pero this one is the dirty kitchen plus a staff house, yung maid's room. So, ito yung may another entrance sila dito for our staff house. Tapos this one will be kasama pa rin to sa property. So hanggang dyan siya. And then this gonna be our carport. So we have covered carport here. So let's go there. So the good thing about this property talaga sa Amore, we have covered carport. Kasya dito yung dalawang sasakyan na malalaki. SUV or pickup. Yung dito sa side na to, again, this is gonna be the commercial area of Forestra. Ngayon, they are doing the fence. Isa pang advantage ng property na to is this one is a corner kasi. You have a lot of view pag corner. This space kasi, since this one is a corner area, this space, wala na siyang house. So, it's like a free space na for us. For example, if you have visitors and all, you can have this area to parking, pwede. So, wala na talagang gagawin dito. Then, sa kabilang side is Forestra na. So, this open space is a free space for our property. So, yun yung advantage niya. Okay? And we're done for our showing here at Amore, Portofino. And sobrang happy and nagustuhan talaga ng mag-asawa si Doc Grace and Sir Sunny. Yung house na to, very good deal talaga siya. Imagine, it's really below the market. As you can see, if you can canvas to the whole area, it's ranging like 40 to 80 million for the house, pero newly renovated. For this one, you can get it in a very low price. You can message me, no, like 28 million net, and konting renovation lang siya. We can also give you some idea what to do on this property. Sobrang panalo na, no? It can cost more than that. Again, this property is still available. Everybody, kung sino yung nagtitingin in this property, just message us. This one kasi is a model unit before. So, kung ano yung binigay ng Villar City developer on this property, same pa rin siya. And sobrang original lahat. Like the materials and all. Napakadali niyang i-layout. And ayun, si Doc Grace and Sir Sunny is really interested in this. So, hopefully this weekend, pa-close na natin yung deal. Nasa process lang sila sa financing stage. Kasi since they are, galing na sila before sa malaking house. This property around 285 square meter, galing sila sa 400 plus. So they are really used into those bigger cuts. So we'll see kung ano yung mangyari. Pero I have another viewing for this weekend. So abangan nyo rin yung another video on that. Pero this one is really a good deal. We also offer other properties here in Daang Reyna. Pero I think this one is the best one. Again, connect with us now and I'm happy to assist you to a private deal. With AJAElite, the real deal of real estate.